about Scrap? What do you see in him? I mean, obviously you had it and he flipped or whatever, but is he just still a raw athlete? Moving the corner? Do you feel like where do you feel like he's at? And where is his ceiling?
Man, he has a tremendous ceiling. Man, you know, he's obviously that he's a raw position. You know, in high school he played quarterback, some linebacker, some DB. And last year at Notre Dame he played receiver. But his ceiling is through the roof. Man, he got good ball skills, very fast, physical. It's going to be a process with him pretty much get him in the fold at cornerback. But when it clicks, man, he's going to be pretty much a draft pick, I think, in my opinion.
What's your approach to something like him in this day and age where you're like, all right, here's your potential, but you got to stay, you got to stick it out. Like, how do you sort of approach guys like that? I mean, you can't get too far ahead of yourself. You don't want to have conversations now that you have down the road, but a guy like that has a ceiling that you're like, you're going to need a little bit of time. So if you come in, don't be impatient or whatever. How do you sort of deal with a player like that?
Man, I think it all starts in recruiting. You know, when I recruited Scrap at South Florida, I kind of told, look, man, this is my plan for you. Will it be a day one thing? No, but it pretty much be a 3 or 4 year thing for him. And he's pretty much, when he got in the portal, we had the same talk. I said, look, day one thing. It's not gonna be a day one thing for you. Year 3, year 4 is a process, and he's pretty much bought in. You know, every day he grabbed me for 5 minutes. Hey, coach, let's go over this. After practice, 5 minutes a day, man. This coach, this what I got to do to get better. And he's pretty much been receptive to everything we've been telling him as far as like the techniques we got to work on. And I'm very excited about his future. You know, this last 2 workouts we had, he's been pretty much got better every day.
I know it's probably way too early to be worrying about who's boundary, who's corner, who's a nickel, things like that. But how many guys do you want to have that you can put out there? Do you expect to be able to play back in the corner and nickel?
Man, with me, man, obviously at one time you play the 2 corners, but I usually rotate 4 guys at corner. You know, because this pretty much the day and age. You can't play just 2 guys the whole game; they get tired. So even back in my days at Miami, I always rotated 4 corners. So I'm looking for the best 4 guys that compete and go from there.
What do you see from Blake Woodby when you watch him, watch what he was last year, like where his ceiling's at? Obviously, that's a guy that Durkin was high on as well. What do you see in him?
Man, Blake is a guy that do it all. He can play inside, outside. And he's a guy that we're going to pretty much lean on a lot this year, pretty much to get us out of games and help us win games, because he got that play some nickel, some field corner, some boundary corner, and pretty much just meeting the kid, man. He brings an energy that he won that corner. He's very confident, and the playbook, man, he knows it inside and out. And for a young guy, you pretty much that's very promising. So I'm excited for him, man. I'm very excited.
How long does it take for you to figure out kind of where your group is at? I mean, is it by the end of spring you have an idea? Is it all the way into next fall? Like, what I guess maybe going into the spring and thinking about the spring, where do you want to be with this group? You get a bunch of transfers. You got some guys come back that you're not as familiar with. What do you want to know?
Oh, I just want to know, man. All you guys are gonna compete. And it's pretty much just watching these guys, film from last year, Andre Jordan film, Shamar film, Gavin film. I know these guys are competitive. Now I got pretty much all these personalities from different places in one room, and pretty much them guys that, hey, just follow one mission, be the best group in the country. And so far these guys have been doing that. These guys pretty much been locked in, all these guys like brothers, and I'm excited to see how this thing shake out in spring. I think for the spring thing, I want to figure out, who's going to be the top 4 for me. You know what I'm saying? And right now, I told these guys, man, day one, I'm rolling the ball out there, and the top 4, shake steps out.
You probably asked about him with getting Andre Jordan. He was a guy that his numbers looked really good in the Big Ten. What does he bring to the table for you?
Man, he brings a competitive attitude, to the team, that we want. A lot of snaps. He played against the best at Indiana, Ohio State. Those are the 2 games I watched. I was like, man, this is my guy. This guy I need. As far as playing against Jeremiah Smith, those guys in Indiana, he pretty much didn't shout for nothing. And just having him, it gives me like, okay, man, like I know I got a guy that got that play with experience. So we play this gauntlet of schedule. He's not gonna shout for nothing.
Talk about like the decision to go get Scrap Richardson. Just like the guy came in, was going to be a wide receiver, and put him in corner. Just like what stands out about him, because not often do you get a transfer and they're like, all right, we're switching him to another side of the ball.
Now I think the biggest thing for me that stood out for Scrap was, man, his intangibles. Man, he's a kid that out of high school ran 4.3, 40-inch vert, man, good ball skill, very physical. and you pretty much want to mold all those tools together to become a NFL cornerback. And pretty much that was my whole thing. My selling point to him in recruiting, look, bro, like you're not a finished product yet, but you have the tools to become one. And he's bought into the system. He bought into like our vision for him, and I'm excited, man. Like when you see the kid, you walk around, man, you look like a NFL cornerback, about 6'2", 200 pounds, running 4.3. Now you got to put all those tools together to become one.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but y'all had a relationship with him before he went to Notre Dame.
Yeah, he was committed to it. That's South
Right,
Florida.
right.
You know, I thought having a diamond in the rough, and then he started balling, then everybody started calling. And and he ended up Notre Dame, rightfully so, man. Didn't work out there, and then he got in the portal, gave me a call. I said, let's try this thing out, man. You know, so great family, great coach, a high school coach, and great kid.
During spring practice, what's the priority or two at your position? What do you want to leave spring practice getting better at, and what things?
I think the biggest thing I want to get better at, man, in the spring practice is attacking the ball at the highest point, man, making plays with the ball. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what wins games, man. Like my motto is, they throw it, we catch it. That's one of them. And then two, man, be the most competitive group in the field. You know, so those are the two things I'm harping on right now. You know, doing meetings, man, like getting the ball when they throw it, and being the most competitive group.
With the wide open offenses that you're going to face, you're going to play a bunch of DBs in a game, but can you have a depth chart, so to speak, done by spring practice? Is that ongoing throughout preseason camp?
I have an idea at the end of spring who will be the starters, but you don't really want to have a true set depth until at the fall camp. So it's going to be I have an idea to say, okay, man, this guy probably be here, be there, but I won't have a official answer until fall camp.
Knowing that you haven't had a chance to actually have a spring practice yet, you've been around these guys a little bit.
Yeah.
What are first impressions of your
Man, these guys are huge. They're huge, and they can fly. You know, just watching Shamar Allnock just out there just running around, man. He's a kid that's like 6'2", really fast, very aggressive. You look at guys like Rashawn Pleasant, you know, Andre Jordan. Like these guys are 6'1", 6'2", and they can go. That's something that stand out to me, you know, because I was a tall guy. I wasn't as big as those guys, but the same tall and fast. And I'm excited, you know, for the spring ball to see how these guys go out there and compete.
DeMarcus, when you're out there recruiting, what are you looking for in a cornerback?
Man, I think the biggest thing for me, I'm looking for in a cornerback when I'm recruiting, I'm looking for guys, man, that play both sides of the field. I mean, both sides of the ball, offense and defense. Guys that's competitors. You know, when the game's alignment, they're embracing, hey, man, coach, put me in the game. I want to cover that guy. And also, man, it's good human beings. You know, that's a trait that I always look for in recruiting, man, because I don't want to deal with high maintenance guys. I want to deal with low maintenance guys because I want to coach ball. I want to chase around class, things like that. I want to make sure you're a football player. You want to be great.
How would you kind of describe yourself as a recruiter out there?
I try to put myself in these kids' shoes sometimes, man. You know, always just the run joke I tell kids, man, like. I know you guys don't want to talk to a 37-year-old every day. You're gonna say you got your girlfriend, you got your friends, you got everything, you know. So I try to find my spots to, you know, hit them and make sure I'm talking about real stuff, not just pretty much just checking the box. Hey, good morning. Like I want to make sure when I talk to you, man, it's something valid. You know, go over technique, man. How your family doing? Cause I always say, man, like these kids are 17 years old, 18 years old. They got their own thing going on, you know. But once I find a day or two to talk to them, man, we're gonna talk 15, 20 minutes, and we got some real stuff, and pretty much I can build a relationship, you know, outside the ball.
Do you feel like being a younger coach, you can relate to them a little bit more?
Yeah, I think so. And I think just for my background kind of helped me out sometimes. That's like I say, man, like I was once recruited at high school, you know, wasn't highly recruited, but, you know, I had some schools offer me scholarships. So I know how I feel to talk to a coach, and sometimes you want to be bothered. So I kind of like, you know, look, man, like I've been in your shoes, man. I was once a freshman on ACC. I played the freshman, so I know every goal you're trying to reach, I've done it. So just follow my blueprint and I help you out. Gotcha.